So now that I've taken you through the history of how banks have moved beyond branches to try to solve the problems that they faced of reducing costs and reaching people where they live, let me tell you the story about one of our partners. Opportunity International Bank of Malawi has followed this trajectory in its operations over the last few years. They started out by realizing it's very expensive for us to offer teller transactions to our clients. So how can we reduce that cost? And they looked at ways of increasing productivity and then building maybe cheaper branches that brought the transaction costs down. And they achieved some level of success with that, but it wasn't enough. As they thought about how can we get out to the clients, out to the rural areas where it's too expensive for us to build a branch, they learned from others like Equity Bank about the idea of taking trucks and taking the branch to the people. These mobile trucks have been popular with clients in rural areas because it brings banking services to them. And while it may be cheaper than building a full branch in that neighborhood, it's not that cheap. And so OIBM thought about how can we get out to those same areas in a cheaper way. And they realized in most of the areas where they were going, there were post offices. Now these post offices were essentially empty because nobody was sending mail and had an existing infrastructure that OIBM could use. OIBM started sending its staff to these post office cashier points essentially and started offering banking services through the post office. Again, OIBM thought, how can we bring the cost down further and how can we reach out further? In Malawi, almost every family is within 20 kilometers of an agro dealer, a small shop that sells seeds and fertilizer and grain and things like that. And so OIBM thought if we could just get our services inside those kinds of shops, then we could reach even more families than we're able to do now through our branches, ATMs, and trucks. So they forged a partnership with one of these agro dealers, Kalima Gold, to put POS devices in the shops so that clients could get cash back. So this solved one of the problems that clients have. They can now access their cash at an agro dealer, although they can't make deposits due to regulatory restrictions. Now this kind of a partnership is great, but OIBM thought, let's see if we can take this even further, being very motivated by the potential of mobile banking. OIBM started with a very small pilot in partnership with one of the local operators to offer limited banking services over the phone directly to clients, such as balance inquiries, account transfers, top-ups, and that kind of a thing. But the initial pilot had some challenges and didn't see a great deal of uptake. Now, Opportunity is in discussion with Zane about their local mobile money offering, Zap, to determine if they can forge a partnership similar to that of Equity Bank and Safaricom with M-Kesho to allow their bank account holders to transfer money in and out of the mobile money offering and therefore use the agents or cash merchants that Zap has developed. So banking may not be the most innovative industry in the world, but right now there's an opportunity for banking to be an innovator, to take advantage of the technology that's out there to solve the problem of how do we serve clients in a more cost-effective way closer to where they live. So at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we are trying to solve this problem too. We are trying to identify the solutions that we believe are available now to solve the problem of how do we bring down the costs and how do we get closer to where people live. And our focus is really on trying to solve this problem for poor people. So as we think back on the history of how bankers have tried to solve this problem, we see an important role for banks to play. And we are excited about this historic opportunity that mobile phone technology provides to enable us all to solve these challenges.